Hello, this video will provide a brief overview of social work at the University of Wisconsin-Green Bay. My name is Jolanda Sallmann, and I am an associate professor of social work and women's gender and sexuality studies. I am also the BSW program coordinator here in our undergraduate social work program. So just a brief starting point here. So really, who are social workers? So social workers have often been described as caring professionals. So we really are professional helpers. Social work is a very value-based profession. We have a code of ethics, and it identifies 6 core values and then operationalizes those values as a guide for how we should interact with clients, working with them directly, working with communities, advocating for particular kinds of policies, like across all different aspects of life. Social workers also tend to possess personal qualities that support work with others. I tend to find when I'm meeting with students, those of you interested in social work are the people whose friends have always told them you are the person that they come to when they need some support. You're the person they feel they can talk to. Another characteristic of social workers is that we really value working in partnerships. So we collaborate with other professionals. We like to process and use consultation. We really just like interacting with people. When we think about the social work profession, then, it is a profession that really promotes social change. So what it does is, in social work, we refer to the person and environment perspective. So we see the ways that individuals are impacted by their environments, and a lot of those have to do with larger social problems, policy situations, issues like poverty, homelessness, all of those different things, and we work to try to create social change. We also work to enhance problem solving in human relationships. So many of the challenges that we see clients for relate to how they interact with other people, maybe needing additional helping skills or problem solving skills, coping mechanisms, and being able to get along better. So that's one of the things that social workers do. And then we also facilitate empowerment and liberation of people to enhance their well-being. So thinking about empowerment is really using the skills within people already to help them recognize the strengths that they have and make positive changes in their own life. So feeling like they have a voice, helping individuals recognize they have the ability to change. So social workers respond to the demands of living, and we promote citizens' rights. So again, thinking about how we promote social change, that we look at, again, these individual challenges that people face that might be a challenge in living, and we look at how they're linked within society as a bigger picture. So we want to promote people's rights. We work with individuals, families, groups, organizations, and communities. So in social work, we refer to these as different systems levels, micro, meso, macro, and our goal is to teach you to work across all of those different system levels by the time you graduate. So some highlights about the social work program here at UW Green Bay. We are a cohort model. So that means you work through the program with the same group of students. We work with students their junior and senior years. Your courses are clustered together and you take them in order in that cohort. We have very close relationships between our faculty advisors and our students. We are a small program, so each year we accept only up to 40 students. So your advisor gets a chance to really know you very well. Required in the social work program are what we call field placements, which is really an internship where you gain practical experience in the community setting. So by the time you graduate, you will have completed 2 semesters worth of field placement in the area where you are hoping to work in the future, or in an area to advance your goals there. By the time you graduate, you are also eligible for certification in the state of Wisconsin. So to call yourself a social worker in the state, you need your degree and you need to pass a state exam. You are also eligible for advanced standing in the MSW program. So many of you will already know that you want to do your career goals lie with something that requires a master's degree in social work. And so any student who graduates from an accredited undergraduate social work program is eligible for some kind of advanced standing in a master's program. So for our students here, if you graduate from our undergraduate program and decide to go on to our master's level program, it means you can do your full-time degree in 1 calendar year instead of 2. So that advanced standing allows you to take off the first year from your master's. We also have 2 emphases in our undergraduate program. You do not need to take any of them, but one is in child welfare, which is really for any student who thinks they would like to work with children and their families. And then the second one is in substance use. As I said before, social work is a major that you do need to apply for, and we accept up to 40 students. For the start each fall, you apply in the spring. Here you'll see a link to our social work program website. The application is down there. You will apply the spring of your sophomore year or the spring before you intend to start with us. We look for a 2.5 minimum cumulative grade point average. There are a number of support courses we're looking for also. Well, there's a number you can pick from, and we want you to have completed at least 4 by this time you've started here. We do look a little bit at work and volunteer experience, more in how it shapes your responses, because there is a narrative portion to the application. And we do require 1 letter of recommendation. So if you think that social work is a major that you might be interested in, you're really encouraged to contact the social work office as soon as you start as a student and meet with a social work advisor so that we can help you be efficient and meet your graduation goals. I want to take just a moment to talk about internships, which again is the thing that students are most excited about. It's where we gain all of our practical experiences, engage in professional networking, and just really kind of begin to do social work. So when we think about the field experience in social work, it's referred to as signature pedagogy. So it really is the main cornerstone of a social work education, where you connect that theoretical and conceptual to what you're actually doing in practice. So it has accompanying coursework where you're able to process what's going on in your field placement, where you're gaining skills that you can apply in your field placement setting. So it's really a very valuable experience. And this, your primary internship or field placement will occur your senior year, and it spans both fall and spring semesters, and it's about 2 days a week throughout both of those semesters. We also have a junior service learning experience, and that is something that happens your junior year in the spring, and it really is more of a way to dip your toes into an organization and practice your teamwork and professionalism skills. So groups of students are placed in internships for these service learning experiences, and the goal is to work on a group project, meeting some need in the agency. It tends to be macro focused, so it's not about working one-on-one with clients or meeting with clients necessarily. It's looking at the big picture of the organization and providing some kind of service to help that program. So some examples of these junior service learning experiences: we've had students at the Brown County Aging and Disability Resource Center, where they organized and presented a series of events for Older Americans Month. We have had students at COMSA, where they organized and publicized a hijabi party to raise awareness of Somali culture and funds to support summer activity programs. We've had students at the YMCA, where they planned a week-long service learning experience for youth participating in the after-school program. So ways of thinking about organizing a program, engaging in fundraising, publicizing the organization. So again, those macro level experiences. So to come back around to the senior field placement, and one of the things to just let you know ahead of time is you're not expected to do this alone, to find your placement alone. We do have a BSW field coordinator, and she is very skilled at helping students find placements that really help them meet their needs. So as I said before, fall and spring semester, you're doing about 2 days per week, and you're placed in an agency setting. You will have a supervisor that you will work with and be provided with training and orientation, and you will practice all the skills you need to be a successful social worker. Lots of different agencies that we work with all throughout northeastern Wisconsin. So we have a range of interpersonal violence shelters throughout the counties. We work with Department of Corrections. We have a number of homeless shelters, community resource centers. The counties, particularly thinking about our child welfare students, are often working and doing volunteer work in the counties, doing things like abuse and neglect investigations, foster care, family reunification. We have students working at Curative Connections, Mocked Village, Bellin Hospital, New Community Clinic, Hospice, and the LGBT partnership with Goodwill. And those are just a sampling of agencies. We have very many organizations that we work with. So as I had said, field is really the place that students shine, and it's the thing that they look forward to most in the program. So just really thinking about how being in the agency can sometimes feel a little bit intimidating at first, but where you actually are on the ground doing the work, developing those skills in a context where you are the student and the expectation is that you will learn and practice and receive a lot of constructive feedback. So just thinking a little bit, if you are just coming to UW Green Bay and thinking about some courses that you might want to start off with, we do have a couple suggestions for starting this. And again, I want to reiterate, please contact our office. Here's the email or phone number, and you can schedule an appointment with a social work advisor who can really help look at your personal situation and what you might need to do. We do suggest that you try to register for 1 or 2 of these your first semester, your first year. So of these 4 suggestions, looking at Intro to Lifespan Development, which is also a social science general education course. So it's a real helpful one to start with, thinking about how humans develop from life through death. So we're really looking across the whole lifespan there. And it does meet, again, one of your social science general education requirements. We also suggest you take your biological sciences general education course. In social work, the most common one students take is Intro to Human Biology. Another course is suggested is WF, which is Writing Foundations 105, Research and Rhetoric. Put here that it only counts for the social work major, just so that you're aware. It's not going to meet your general education requirements. It's not going to be helpful if maybe social work isn't for you, whereas the 2 above also do meet general education courses, so they're really good places to start. And then a 4th suggestion could be, taking your ethnic studies general education course, which again meets general education courses. And is something we highly rely on in social work, our ability to understand, respect other cultures, be able to work cross-culturally. So I just want to take a moment to talk about your employment outlook in social work. And before I get into this, I also want to highlight, we do have, in addition to our child welfare emphasis, a stipend program. And there is information about that on our website. And the stipend program is for students in the social welfare emphasis who really see themselves as having career goals in public child welfare. So those are the things: working for a county or a tribe, doing things like the abuse and neglect investigations, family reunification, etc. So we have a program that pays your senior year tuition. Your field placement then in senior year is in one of those counties or tribes doing that work, and then you do commit to seeking employment and retaining that employment for a year post-graduation. So if you're interested in that, you can read more about it on our website, and also something that you could talk to with a social work advisor. So when we think about different fields of practice and typical settings, so you see here child welfare number 3. So there is a lot of it's a very popular field to work in, and there's always people who are needed in those jobs. So we have a range of different fields of practice. So we can work with addictive behaviors, be inpatient, outpatient, thinking about drug and alcohol or substance use, related issues, eating disorders. So there's lots of different addictive behaviors social workers work with. Aging populations can span the whole spectrum, from hospice to senior centers, our aging and disability resource centers, hospitals, nursing homes, lots of things. Child welfare is not just public child welfare, but we have lots of other private organizations that we work with. Just working with at-risk youth in prevention programming. So a range of different positions covered under child welfare. We have affiliations with different criminal justice fields of practice, so both juvenile and family courts, the adult criminal court. We do have people who have been working with the Department of Corrections, and so lots of different opportunities there as well. Same for homeless services, mental health, and interpersonal violence. So many of these things have both residential services that are provided where your clients are actually living there in the residence, as well as, you know, off-site, drop-in, or appointment services where people are outpatient. Social work is something that is often cited as among the best careers. While this is a pretty old reference already, it still seems really applicable. So I love the quote at the bottom: if you're right for the job, it's the best job in the world. Because really, if you enjoy something that has strong intellectual stimulation, where every day you're facing something different, you know, your days can be unpredictable, but you know, you keep yourself stimulated. You're kept on your toes in the job. We have strong job security, which I always think that our goal as social workers is to work our profession out of the need for existence. But right now we have very strong job security. Our students are securing jobs and they're doing very well that way. Many social work positions have a really high level of control and freedom in what you do. You get to set your own schedule. You're often out of the office doing home visits. You know, many positions, you're not just sitting in an office. And extensive direct contact with clients. Again, bringing this back to social workers tend to be people. So thinking specifically about that job outlook, social work positions are expected to increase 16% by 2016. The national average is about only 11%. So we do expect to see larger than average growth in jobs. And these are some of the areas where we're expecting to see growth in. So child, family, and school social workers, 14%, mental health and substance abuse services by 19%, and healthcare, 20%. And that last part, the healthcare social workers, a lot of that is driven by the aging baby boomer population. So if you're really interested in working with elders and healthcare, social work is absolutely a great field for you right now. When we think about the median pay, so on average, just under $50,000 a year, just under $24 an hour. So with these top social work industries, some of them, like the hospitals, are going to be things maybe more of a salary for someone with a master's degree in social work. Whereas, you know, some of the lower positions are going to be the bachelor's level, but still, you know, good wages, lots of county positions where you have good healthcare and good benefits as well. So I just want to conclude with this, and this is a quote by the National Association of Social Workers. So if you're really thinking about, is social work for me? I'm not really sure. How does it differ from other professions? This doesn't answer all of this, but really when we think about our mission, and our mission is stated in our code of ethics, and it really is to enhance human well-being and help meet basic and complex needs of all people. And we have a particular focus on those who are vulnerable, oppressed, and living in poverty. If you're looking for a career with meaning, action, diversity, satisfaction, and a variety of options, consider social work. And it is different from some other helping professions because we do focus on the person and their environment. So we're not just going to treat an individual, work with an individual, but we also look to make that social change. We want to address those external factors that impact a person's situation and outlook. So again, if these things sound like a good fit for you, and to conclude, social workers help clients deal not only with how they feel about a situation, but also with what they can do about it. If you want to make those kinds of changes in the lives of others and in society as a whole, please come and check us out. Thank you so much.